I'm a big believer that that the built environment shapes people's behaviors. And I've mostly grown up in the suburbs. And the suburbs were all a little bit different. Some of them, the scale was a little bit smaller, and it was just easier to see your neighbors and to chat with them. Others, the houses were further apart, and you basically didn't know your neighbors. I mean, you might see them, but you didn't really know them.
I grew up in a number of places. So the first place I lived in was a small sort of village in southern Africa. And then I moved around the world and lived in a lot of different places.
We moved to Kitsilano about 2 years ago. Kits has always had this very sort of eccentric creative undercurrent, and I was worried about that disappearing over time because there's been a lot of issues with, gentrification and generational changes. And so this was, I think, in the winter time, like maybe back in February or something, and we're in the living room, and it just kind of came to me like a vision. I said, Glen, we've got to do something weird. We've got to do something really weird. We need to make a lizard sculpture. And Glen just kind of looked at me and went, yeah, that's a great idea. And so that's kind of how it started. I would say that I don't really think of it as art as some sort of separate endeavor or, profession. I really think of it as just creativity. And I think creativity is very important for everyone, regardless of what they do.
Basically, I just went around and thought, okay, we're going to do a lizard, and I don't like this hedge, so it was a bit of work convincing everyone around the neighborhood that we could get rid of the hedge and that would open up the space and how it would open up the space.
Part of the motivation for doing it was to bring some community character and eccentricity to the neighborhood. And then once we got started with it and kind of got people on board, then we heard through other people, like say Keiko, oh, placemaking. And I was like, aha, that's what it is, it's placemaking. It's a shared common room, basically. And it's really changed how we know our neighbors because, you really only get to know people in general when you just spend time with them, like downtime with them.
I think also when you feel that you're really connected to a neighborhood, that you feel, oh, this is a space where I want to live. I don't see myself ever leaving. Inevitably, you discover that, oh, you have a lot in common with these people, and then, oh, I see my neighbors a lot more than I see friends.
People only really communicate with each other and talk with each other if they have the environment that facilitates that.